Oh, okay. Shit. Like, I said something buggery. Bruh.
Yeah, I read that.
I
Mm,
um should I ping everyone? Did we ping people for sprints in the past? Um okay, yeah, we did. All right, I should probably do that. Everyone. All right. Um, how does wait, bro? This is like okay. Please move this, huh? Wait, I'm confused.
what are you trying to do?
I don't know what I'm trying to do actually. Uh, oh, okay. Yo, okay. Can you check if you can see
Yeah.
like okay, so we're gonna begin the Sprint 1 tournament now. Actually, okay.
That's very right.
Actually, we'll get started in like 1 or 2 minutes. All right. Hello everyone. So now we're gonna get started with the first sprint tournament of the year. Wait, fine. Okay, so here we have like the top 16 teams. And we bro, I need okay, so yeah, so we have the top 16 teams here, and yeah, these are the current bracket pairings. So yeah, we're just gonna, I guess we're gonna get started with the first round of the matchup, which is Super Cow Powers versus Skip Miners. So yeah, so we're gonna start the first game on Cheese Farm. So let's see how it plays out. Okay, so it seems like Super Cow Powers is having some kind of exploration mechanism. Seems like the plum rats are trying to rush into Super Cow Powers and try to take them down. Um, seems like Super Cow Powers is defending pretty well though. Let's speed up the game a little. Yeah, it seems like yeah, I think Super Cow Powers takes that game. I don't think the opposing team had any like defense. So yeah, that was the first round. Okay. So it's on Thunderdome. Okay, that was a pretty quick game. Let's like maybe slow that one down. Um, so the two Rat Kings are pretty close to each other, so there's a lot of direct combat here. Seems like Super Cow Powers is doing a very good job of like defending. And yeah, and then after that, they're able to take the victory there. Okay. Let's see how they do on this map. Yeah. So yeah, okay. So again, Super Cow Powers is doing a good job of like defending against the rush. And yeah, I think what happened there is I think the Rat King started losing health, and then the cat ended up also like killing them. So
Git miners also seems to be struggling with collecting cheese, and so that leaves them unable to create new rats, which creates a problem when it comes to defense.
yeah. Okay, so Super Cow Powers takes that with 3 wins. So we're gonna move on to the next matchup, which is Just Woke Up versus T Spark. Um, okay, let's see how this one goes. So,
T-Spark has an interesting idea of putting cat traps immediately around its Rat King and just staying still. Oh, I guess it moved. Never mind. But the idea is there to defend its Rat King. Both is kind of moving around.
yeah, see how this plays out. I wonder if it'll reach the tie breaks. Maybe it'll reach round 2000. Um, yeah, I think the cat here might be a little seems like it's frozen. I think this might be an issue that was brought up before, and this is definitely going to be resolved before Sprint 2. Um, I think the cat algorithm right now is a little bit it's not perfect right now. So yeah, this will definitely be resolved before Sprint 2. But yeah, I think the Plum Rat King just started running out of cheese, and yeah, I think that was the result of that. Okay. See the next matchup in Thunderdome. I think there's not much interaction between the teams. I think they're both pretty busy, like gathering resources from the cheese mines. Um, they're existing pretty independently of one another. The cats are still frozen. Uh, I guess that's good in terms of like team survival. At least they won't get opped on by the cat. But seems like Just Woke Up has like over 50 baby rats. T-Spark has like 16. Um, seems like this game might go on to round 2000. There's not much interaction between the teams. Uh, T-Spark has done a lot more damage to the cat than Just Woke Up. So this may be interesting. Okay, but Just Woke Up takes the victory. I think primarily it's because they seem to use a strategy where at around like round like I don't know around like 1900 or so, they start forming a bunch of rat kings, which I guess is a pretty valid strategy, considering that how tie breaks take rat king formation into consideration. So yeah. All right. Um, see how they do here. So just right off the bat, it seems like just looking at the stats on the left-hand sidebar, Just Woke Up is doing a pretty good job of collecting cheese. Uh, both teams, again, are focusing a lot on gathering cheese rather than yeah, there's also a pretty big map, so it makes rushing tactics like more difficult as well. Um, Seems like on the right side, Just Woke Up did a very good job of using dirt to slow down the cat. So yeah, that was definitely well played. Um, I'm interested to see if this might also go on to round 2000 where we might need a tiebreak. Um, yeah, I think in this case, Just Woke Up takes another victory. Seems like they use the same strategy of rat king formation at like very late in the game. So yeah, that's well done. All right. You want like let's see the next one.
Yeah, I'll try. We keep going quite fast here,
All right,
but
let's
start first. So this sort of map really emphasizes your team's ability to sort of break through dirt. So we kind of see that the gold team is doing a little bit better with being able to navigate. They've incorporated breaking down dirt into the strategy, whereas the plum team seems a little more focused around their rat king. But we're having a lot of rat traps, and it seems like plum king just died. Seems
yeah.
it
Seems like it
did
would
not quite collect enough cheese.
yeah, seems like it was losing health. Seems like they didn't have enough cheese, so Sare or Despair will take that first round. Let's move on to the next match.
The the plum team, I believe, is trying to protect its rat king by, in a different strategy from the other team, they're using rat traps to defend against the enemy team. Didn't seem like it ended up doing that much, but their rats are moving around quite a bit. You have the cat sort of chasing around. Both teams have very little rats though. And now we sped up a little bit. We have Plum actually has a surprising amount of rats compared to the previous game, but it looks like their rat king is slowly losing health. It
Yeah.
does not appear that they're
Seems like at around like around around like 400 or so. Seems like the Rat King started losing cheese uh somewhere around here. Or whoops. Uh, yeah, I think the Rat King started like losing health uh right there. But
this was a very close game. Plum was actually very close to losing, but they are
yeah.
now tied.
All right, so let's move on to the third game.
Right. Again, this is a very spread out map, so it takes the two teams a while to really start interacting. At this point, they have a similar number of rats, maybe rats at this point, so they're just going around collecting cheese. It does look like the plum rat king is starting to lose some health, whereas gold is still do not want to update. Whereas gold is doing well, and so far. But and there we go.
Seems like there's that one rat came, and I think the plum rat was also starting to lose health
Yes.
just based on not enough cheese. So this seems like a pretty big issue that a lot of teams are having right now. So right now the score is 2-1. Um, yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next match.
Other teams are fighting inside very cute ducks. We'll see if they can squeeze their way out of here. We do see an issue where some of, especially the golden rats, seem to end up getting themselves stuck when they move diagonally. But it seems most of their rats are able to still move around freely. Both teams are actually maintaining their rat king's health at this point, which is actually surprising given the previous rounds. Let's see. So they do have pretty close access to those rat or those cheese mines, so I guess that makes sense. It seems the golden rat seems to be trapping themselves in within the duck, but
We might have another tiebreak here.
yeah.
Seems like Jython has collected slightly more cheese and has done slightly more damage. So in that case, Jython is gonna take the victory on that game. So we have to move on to a final round. So let's see how this plays out.
This is a very open map. There's not really anything blocking the two teams other than these arrows. So this map really encourages sort of fighting between the teams. We saw that almost immediately. We went to back-to-back mode almost immediately. The Golden King seems to be struggling a little bit with its health. Looks like there's not much cheese in this relatively small map, at least compared to others. And it is slowly but surely losing health. It seems to be slowing. No, I believe this is.
Oh, and
Oh, this is actually surprising. At some point, the plum rat started to lose health quite fast, and even though the other rat was quite close to dying. Yeah.
yeah, so Sare or Despair will be moving on to the next round. Yeah. All right. Now we have Dovish Dolphin versus Glorp.
So again, we see from the plum rat king that they are trying to defend themselves from the rat or from the cat primarily with those cat traps, whereas the golden rat king seems to primarily be focusing on building all those baby rats, but it seems to be struggling getting through this dirt. And this was something that we had anticipated that if you did not build in, breaking down dirt and building dirt into your strategy, you might get stuck.
Yeah, it seems like neither team wants to be digging this dirt barrier. There's this kind of deadlock going on.
It does appear that the plum team did better, but eventually the rat king,
Yeah,
those rats didn't want to move and they just died. No, not enough juice.
yeah. All right.
That was a win for Gorp, I believe.
Okay.
This map, it's interesting to see how quickly the team. Oh,
Oh, that was a very fast round. I think Dovish Dolphin just let's slow that down. I guess they just completely rushed the opponent. Uh Seems like Glorp tries to place down some traps, but Dovish Dolphin is able to push through, and a bunch of these rats are able to immediately kill the Rat King. So
right. So as we saw in the previous rounds, the golden rat kings is really prioritized building those baby rats early on. So in these more open maps where it's more so just a direct confrontation, it seems to have a bit of an edge. But yeah, and Plum Rat has lost some health. Plum Rat King, they had lost some health, but it seems to be staying stable for now. But then it gets directly attacked by a rat or by a cat. These rhyming games maybe were idea.
it's interesting to see how I mean, it doesn't seem like Dovish Dolphin is collecting any cheese. I guess seems like uh I believe they were the one who like did the rush strategy. Yeah, it seems like Glorp here has collected almost 2,000 units of cheese. For some reason, Dovish Dolphin hasn't collected any cheese yet. And it seems like yeah, Glorp has 24 baby rats. And Dovish Dolphin has three. I think the Rat King just died just also because of lack of cheese. So yeah. And we're gonna move on to final matchup. So again, it seems like Dovish Dolphin, they tried to use a rush strategy at the very beginning, but Glorp did a good job of defending against that. Now Dovish Dolphin doesn't have any baby rats actually, and Glorp has 18. So
And without any cheese to build in more baby rats, they're basically just stuck there.
yeah,
So it's a matter of whether or not the plum rat, whether Glorp can just stay alive long enough from the cats to just let Dovish Dolphin die off lack of cheese.
yeah, that seems like that's what happened. So Glorp is gonna move on. Um, all right, next we have Old Butt Gold versus Sloppy Joe Pirates. Um,
Again, it's very interesting to see which teams really try to make use of the traps versus other teams that just try to build as many baby rats as they can and use that as their defense or offense. Sloppy Joe Pirates seems to be lacking some baby rats at the moment, but they're actually doing a okay-ish job at collecting cheese, so they have taken some damage. But it does appear, oh, there we go.
Yeah. Seems like Old But Gold was able to infiltrate and take down the opponent Rat Kings. Again, the two Rat Kings are placed very close to each other, and it seems like Sloppy Joe Pirates is not able to defend against Old But Gold's rush there.
And in this kind of bigger map, it takes them a little longer to rush each other, but it appears that Sloppy Joe Pirates is still taking some damage. It seems like the aggressive teams are faring pretty well so far.
It's pretty interesting to note how Old But Gold moved their Rat King from like the right side of the map all the way to the top. I think Sloppy Joe Pirates might have just not had enough cheese, which caused the Rat King to die. Uh,
It is interesting to note which teams try to incorporate Rat King movement into their strategy. Because on the previous round, we saw that when the Rat King didn't move and it lost all of its baby rats, even it can collect cheese and it just died off. Seems
yeah.
that teams that are taking advantage of Rat King movement
Yeah,
doing pretty
so
well.
yeah, so Old But Gold takes that matchup with 3 wins. Now we have Blue Dragon versus Gravy.
Teams starting off pretty even, though Gravy, oh, actually collecting very similar amounts of cheese.
Yeah, seems like they're both doing a pretty good job of utilizing the cheese mines. Um,
Seems that Gravy is making more use of the traps. But
speed is
so they have had a backstab at some point. It doesn't seem they're interacting too much. It does look like Gravy is starting to get an edge here.
oh, and I think in that case, I think Blue Dragon started running out of cheese as well. And yeah,
Right. Looking at these Rat Kings that are very close, it appears that Blue Dragon was able to get an advantage as many more baby rats. But they actually held, oh wow, they actually, Gravy held their own very well and eventually was able to overpower the Blue Dragon
yeah.
baby rats. And right from there.
All right. Let's see if Gravy will be able to take this with a 3-0 win or if we'll need another match.
There was a cat that was dangerously close to Gravy, but they seem to have avoided that. Blue Dragon's rats are going. They were either going pretty much straight for the enemy Rat King or towards some cheese. That seems like it did not work out well for them.
Yeah, it seems like there was this rat that ended up killing off the Rat King. So Gravy is going to take the victory here. All right, now we have Parmesan versus Powerpuff Girls.
Right. Interesting. This time, neither team seems to be using much use of the Plum Rats. Powerpuff Girls seems to actually be trying to use some traps later in the game when the enemy was attacking, but it's still losing quite a large amount of health. They seem stable for now, but they've taken quite a big hit. Parmesan's team is on the move, and eventually Powerpuff Girls just cannot keep up with the cheese
Oh, that was a quick match. Let's slow that down for sure.
Looks like that was 17 rounds. Parmesan's rats just look like they went straight for Powerpuff Girls, and
Yeah.
there's not enough of a defensive strategy there. Does not take a second, but it does look like,
Oh,
yeah.
once again, Parmesan seems to just be going directly for the opponent's Rat King. And yeah, it seems like it's been working pretty well for them. This is the third game.
Yeah, they already have 3 wins. I think.
Oh, is this it?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and Our final matchup here is Give Me a Job versus Le Festin. So let's see.
This is what we've seen this early. Oh, actually, I was gonna say the baby rats from the Festin seem to have struggled with the dirt for a bit, but they eventually broke the way out. But now they're quite behind on cheese collection, so their rat king is taking quite amount of damage. And eventually, yeah, they just couldn't keep up with the cheese demands from that delay. So Le Festin seems to have went straight for Give Me a Job, but it did not work out, and it seems
Yeah,
that they were able to defend themselves.
let's replay that really quickly. Yeah, it seems like Le Festin was trying to go for a rush strategy. Give Me a Job was able to kind of defend against that and then put up an attack of their own. And yeah, they take the victory for that game.
Seems that every single plum rat is going straight for, oh, took a while, but I guess some are now going to collect some cheese. This map, since they're so far away, it's hard for this first strategy, so inevitably they start trying to collect some trees, but Le Festin just didn't focus enough on cheese and died off. So a win for Give Me a Job.
Okay. All right. So that for our first matchup. Now we're gonna move on to the next one. We have Super Cow Powers versus like Just Woke Up. So let's see how this goes. We have a new map as well.
It's like both teams are trying to explore the bottom. Now the cat's just destroying the rats, trying again, fighting.
It's a lot of cheese in the cork, but it's pretty difficult to access with the cats kind of blocking it. So
Lots of interesting trap placement by Just Woke Up. They're all on that one side, which is
seems like both Rat Kings are just like sitting on top of the cheese mines, which makes sense.
the cats are just blocking the entrance here. I don't think anyone's getting cheese.
It's very interesting to see how Super Cow Powers form like four Rat Kings on the bottom. It's interesting. We haven't seen much of that yet. I think Just Woke Up might have just ran out of cheese there.
Again, there's the interesting trap placement. Looks like it's mostly for defense, but no one's really trying to attack right now. Just Woke Up, made it to the other side, and successfully getting a lot of traps near Super Cow Powers Rat King. We'll see where this goes. Oh, two Rat King, three. That's crazy. Not even near that. It's really interesting.
And
Three Rat Kings win.
yeah. So Super Cow Powers has 2 wins. Let's move on to the third round. This is a pretty small map, so let's see how this plays out.
Both teams digging through dirt, but Super Cow Powers seems to break through to the Rat King fast. Now Just Woke Up slicing the traps, and it looks like they're using that to win. Not sure what's gonna happen though.
Yeah, seems like yeah, I feel like neither it seems like Super Cow Powers was able to make a breakthrough and take down the win.
Wow, it's really interesting how there are like no baby rats at the end there. I don't know what happened, but it's great.
Yeah. All right. Next we have Stare or Despair versus Glorp. All right.
It's an interesting map again. I wonder if the cats are gonna block the entrance this time. Looks like they're just stuck. I don't know what's happening to that, but we'll probably fix that pretty soon.
Earlier I saw Stare or Despair. They use like dirt to well, it seemed like the cat just kind of I was saying like before when the cat was targeting the Rat King was able to use some dirt to like effectively block off the rat or block off the cat, which worked there. Unfortunately, in the end, the cat kind of just took down the Rat King. Um,
Gorp is getting a bunch of stuck rats, or maybe they're just defending. I don't know. Could be part of the strategy. There they go. Doing something now. But now no rats left. It's gonna happen.
Sarah or Despair does have significantly more cheese than Glorp, and I think Glorp just ran out of cheese there. So now the game is 1-1. Again, we see Glorp placing down lots and lots of traps, which is interesting. Um, Seems like there's a lot of combat going on in the middle section here. Speed it up a little.
The cats are just doing nothing here.
Yeah, yeah, and then I think Glorp just ran out of cheese again. Sarah Despair had like 20 baby rats. Um, yeah, so now the score is 2-1.
It just shows that traps are pretty expensive.
Yeah. So this is like potentially the final game if Sarah or Despair were to win this.
So many cat traps. I feel like on this kind of map, the cat just can't really get to the Rat King. And it looks like Glorp actually won this one. I think the cat finally found Zerd and Spare's Rat King. Which is very interesting. Cat just destroyed Zerd and Spare's rats in the top. I think they're still strong though. Head and cheese, it looks like, by a little bit. So many cats in this map. Very interesting. They're not breaking through the dirt, it looks like, because they can't find it. Oh, a rat made it through, but no, the cat's in the middle just killed it. This is actually a crazy map. I don't know if we're ever going to see a rat break through this thing right now.
Seems like both teams are like kind of forced to cooperate in a sense because it's very difficult for the two teams to interact with one another with so many cats, and the cat's kind of just like walking up and down. So we might have to go to a tiebreaker here.
Yeah, it looks like Sarah Despair is really winning in the cat damage, and
Yeah.
they won.
Yeah, so Sarah Despair is going to move on to the next round. Okay, now we have Old But Gold versus Gravy.
Cat's targeting Old But Gold.
But they defend with the dirt pretty well, and the Racking is able to get away.
Now the cat's just confused. Doesn't know what to do. Old But Gold is racking up cat damage. Also cheese.
Yeah, right now Old But Gold is leading in all the stats. Let's see if Gravy can make a comeback.
Gravy finds the cheese in the middle. This might be decisive reason for them to win. Except the turns are almost halfway done. Oh, they're catching up. Cheese is almost there. Cat damage. Oh, cat damage. They're winning. Gravy might win this one.
We might have to go to a tiebreak here. Let's see what's gonna happen. Yeah, so Gravy takes the victory here. All right, let's move on to the next one. Gravy interestingly puts a bunch of cat traps around the Rat King, which makes sense.
Old but gold going directly for the racking, it looks like. They just can't make it through. Gravy's defense. Starting to make it through. Yep, there we go.
All right, the score is 1-1. This one is a much smaller map, so see what happens here.
Old but gold somehow managing to get through the cat, but in the end does not win. Interesting trap placement right around the cheese mine. I don't think I've seen that strategy yet, but makes sense. Rat actually got trapped, I think. Old but gold's targeting the cat a lot here. I think they're gonna win if it comes down to tiebreakers. But we'll see what happens with that. Looks like Gravy's trying to pathfind to that and racking, which is interesting. The problem is there's too many rats to defend. Old Bugle is kind of swarming the cat. That's insane numbers of cat damage right there, 99.7%. Wow. That's actually crazy. I think I know who's gonna win this one. Basically guaranteed at this point, but we'll just wait it out. Oh, there we go. Gravy run on cheese.
All right. This is going to be the last matchup. Let's see. Again, this is one of the game modes where it's difficult to access the opponent racking. So let's see what goes on here. So Old But Gold was able to just keep placing dirt and kind of just freeze the cat, which worked out in their favor. Um,
They're trying to do the same thing, just racking up that cat damage. Well, Gravy is have access to a cat. They're trying to, but kind of like, oh, interesting. They have less cats. That's what's going on. One cat versus like, how many is that? 5? That's crazy. So did this one just come down to cat RNG? I don't think it did completely, because like theoretically Gravy could get through the dirt right there. They're just deciding not to. And
yeah.
get to the cheese in the middle, which might allow them to win. Oh, there they go. Nice. But oh, backstab mode, that's crazy. But Old Blue Gold just has so many robots. 5 rackings at the end, and they take the win.
All right. Okay, now we have Parmesan versus Give Me a Job. Um, right. Interesting how Give Me a Job is able to get into the cork. They don't bring back much cheese though. Um, seems like seems like Parmesan doesn't have any baby rats left. So if Give Me a Job can just make sure the rat king doesn't die away, then they'll probably be taking this match. So let's see what goes on. All right, yeah, and I think Parmesan's rat king just starves from not enough cheese.
Moving on to the next round. Both teams go for the initial rush to the middle to explore a bit. Give Me a Job has more robots, it looks like at this point. Oh, about the same actually. Uh, Cats are stuck, but looks like Parmesan is building traps, defend the Rat King. Interestingly, rat traps, which I guess makes sense because like the cats aren't really doing anything. I think Parmesan takes that one. It's like give me a job right now, cheese.
Yeah, it's a smaller size map. Um, yeah, it seems like Parmesan has a kind of bit of a rush strategy, but Give Me a Job was able to defend pretty well against that. So right now, Parmesan only has like one baby rat, whereas Give Me a Job still has like 12. Oh, and seems like Parmesan is unable to spawn any more baby rats. So Give Me a Job is just swarming Parmesan's Rat King and takes the victory there. The larger size map here, both teams exploring towards the middle. Um,
It looks like give me a job is going for some amount of cat damage here, while Parmesan is focusing more on cheese. Um, the cat is now sort of attacking Parmesan. I don't know what it's doing there. Should be attacking.
cat seems a little buggy there. That's kind of strange. I'm not sure why the cat's not attacking there.
Yeah.
Um,
And then this rat at the bottom, right? It's just like going back and forth between two spots. Wait, who won that one? Oh, Parmesan won. Looks like give me a job. Was it the cat that killed it, or is it the? I think it was a rat actually. That's crazy. Parmesan managed to get a few rats there. Wow.
so yeah. This is again the map where seems like Parmesan's rats, baby rats led them. Oh, well, it seems like some the cats are kind of stuck again, it seems like.
It's really interesting.
Not sure what's going on there, but
Really fun if they triggered the cat trap. So it looks like they're actually they are within one, right? I don't know what's happening. Maybe the cat trap is bugged. Uh, try to fix that, I guess. But
It plays the traps after that's stuff.
it could be true, actually. It's interesting. But yeah, it looks like
We might have
just
to
because
actually
they're,
go to a tiebreaker here.
yeah, it looks like Parmesan's probably gonna win due to the more access to cats. But
Yeah.
yeah, there we go.
Uh, okay. So yeah, let's move on to the next matchup. Super Cow Powers versus Sare or Despair. This is again like two Rat Kings have very direct access to one another. Um,
Some fighting going on in the middle, but less than I'd expect given the number of rats. Looks like they're more trying to explore. There we go. Super cow powers
able
to
to
left the rat king.
yeah. Yeah, it seems oh well, it seems like the cat just kind of went for them and uh yeah. All right.
Can you take a look at the stream? The granite stream is like
Oh,
very.
oh, really?
The stream is like.
I can do it for a bit if you want.
Okay, wait. Yeah.
I'm just actually come up and just see what.
Should I keep going or should
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, my notes.
yeah?
I think it's a break just to see what's happening. Very why.
Um,
Uh yeah. It should be I think that's the closest one. Over here. I don't think there's one there. I think we checked last week. The reach. Yeah. I might have a longer. Sure.
they're charging a shit.
Wait, did you deal with the live stream?
Huh? Huh?
Wait, something is happening with that, right?
Wait, I think I hope wait, I think it should be fine.
Okay.
Okay. Unless wait, just let me know if it's like still live.
Right now.
Okay.
Cool. So it looks like we resolved the live stream issues. So let's continue playing the game. Super Cow Powers won that one, and now we're going on to the third match. Can Super Cow Powers take 3-0? It looks like right now they're doing something interesting. They're making a second Rat King, while Sarah Despair is don't know what they're doing exactly, but they're collecting cheese, which is good. No one's really. Oh, there we go. Now teams are exploring the middle, trying to get the dirt removed, place traps. Traps could actually be important because they're in like pretty easily access locations. Yeah, it looks like Super Kappa is definitely not getting through that. So they send a bunch of rats.
Yeah, it's interesting how Super Cow Power seems to have a strategy of like making multiple Rat Kings. This isn't something that we've seen in many other teams, so it's pretty unique.
Yeah, and there's this checkerboard thing. We've seen this in previous years. But with the dirt, it's very interesting to see again. And it looks like Super Cow Power takes the win. It's a tiebreaker. They just had so much cheese.
Yeah. And they also had a massive Rat King advantage. So
That's true. That's true.
it seems like that seems like a strategy some teams are using where they just form a bunch of Rat Kings in the end to win the tiebreak. Okay. Now we have Old But Gold versus Parmesan.
Initial combat in the middle. Bunch of traps placed by it looks like Parmesan. Parmesan's going directly for the Rat King. Doesn't kill it, but damages it a lot. But then the cat targets Parmesan. Old But Gold takes the win.
See Parmesan using some trying to add some cat traps there. Both teams are just busy like focusing on economy, gathering cheese, which makes sense for this map. Um, seems like both teams have a rough. I mean, Old But Gold has slightly more cheese collected. They have put a lot more focus on damaging the cat though. That'll definitely help them in the tie breaks.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen here. It looks like Parmesan's just not damaging the cat at all. Uh, and they're gonna miss out on some wins because of that. They also have a lot less rats, which is
Yeah.
very interesting. Wonder what's happening with that.
It's interesting. Old But Gold has around like 3 times the number of baby rats as Parmesan. Oh, and backset mode is activated. It seems like the two teams are able to interact with each other. And yeah, Old But Gold takes a win there. It seems like both teams are using the strategy of forming rat kings, but Old But Gold has collected slightly more cheese and has done significantly more damage to the cat. So they take the win there. All right.
It's like Parmesan made it through the dirt very quickly. Old But Gold is also making it through using Parmesan's pathways. Cats are kind of stuck. Both teams collecting a bunch of cheese, but Parmesan is winning right now in cheese. But Old But Gold is again damaging the cat a lot more. Uh, just because I don't think Parmesan's spot does that, as far as I can tell. Uh, we do have much more rats though, so could take this win.
Yeah, Parmesan has also collected significantly more cheese. Old But Gold has put more focus on damaging the cat. This might come down to another tie break. Oh, I guess not. I think Old But Gold's Rat King just didn't have enough cheese. So
Moving on to round 4. Backstab mode immediately. Both teams breaking through the dirt. Cheese is pretty scarce, it looks like. Both teams have under 1,000, but there we go. Gradually collecting an instant death. It's pretty fast. Parmesan just died, and
yeah.
Old Gold takes the win.
Yeah, it seemed like they just ran out of cheese there. So Old But Gold is going to take the win there. And yeah, now we have our finals matchup. We have Super Cow Powers versus Old But Gold. Um, it's interesting how Super Cow Powers forms like 3 Rat Kings at the very start. Um, oh, 4 Rat Kings. Okay. Old But Gold does have significantly more baby rats. They have also collected more cheese and done more damage to the cast. So it seems like Old But Gold is in a pretty good position right now. It seems like Super Cow Powers, the Rat Kings are pretty low on health. It seems like they're all unfortunately starved. So Old But Gold is going to take the victory there. Um, a larger map here. Um, so let's see how this plays out. I think both teams have approximately the same number of cheese collected. It's interesting how Old But Gold utilizes the Rat King and like actually and tries to move the Rat King to maybe a potentially better location with more cheese mines, whereas Super Cow Powers prefers to keep the Rat King in one location and have the baby rats do the exploring. Let's see which method will pay off more.
Super Cow Powers briefly made second racking there, but tied. And Old Blue Gold took the victory, only barely though,
It's
because
very close.
King is almost dead.
Yeah, I think at the last minute, Old But Gold is able to have a few of their baby rats and just take down the Rat King. So right now it's 0-2. Let's move on to the next round.
Immediate cheese collection by Super Cow Powers, followed up by Old Gold collecting the cheese too. Um, both teams struggling to discover the cheese in the top left. Maybe it's just too far, but there we go. Old Gold takes some of it. Both teams uh, creating some rats, but Old Gold is just again doing a lot more cat damage. Maybe because the cats are closer, maybe because the strategy favors that. And Old Gold just in sheer number of rats, it's like they're gonna win this one, making an interesting diagonal pattern because that's where all the cheese mines are. And they actually don't.
Super
What
Cow
happened there?
Powers seems to be able to infiltrate with their baby rats and take down the Rat King.
Yeah, it looks like Old Gold is a little bit not careful enough with their racking, just sending it out of the middle.
See what happens on the smaller size map. Both teams seem to oh,
And the cat just kills Old with Gold.
I think Old But Gold's Rat King kind of just happened to run into the cat, and the cat just took them down. All right, so we're gonna need one last matchup, and let's see what plays out here.
Cat somehow teleports inside. This might have been a pounce. Not sure.
Yeah, it probably was a pounce. They probably pounced over the wall there. Um, again, we see Super Cow Powers having 3 Rat Kings actually. It's interesting. Oh, whereas, yeah, I think Super Cow Powers is able to take the victory there, with a couple of those baby rats.
It looks like Old with Gold wasn't really defending with any baby rats there. They were just sending him out to the middle. So there we
Yeah,
go.
so Super Cow Powers is going to take the victory, and they're the winners of the first sprint tournament. So yeah, I think that's it for that. So all right. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the live stream for the first sprint tournament. Wait.
Some more, I think. Is it, uh, what? It's not there.